Welcome to a podcast celebrating Scottish culture and entertainment, which is here to sing the praises of books, films, comedy, music, theatre, exhibitions, telly, poetry, and all that jazz. I'm Nicola Meehan. I'm an arts writer and broadcaster, and I'll give you the lowdown on what's coming up, what's happening now, what came before, and what we love, which is to say that every week, nearly, I'm here to give you a kick up the arts. This week I'm at Edinburgh's Voodoo Rooms for a chat with the goddess, the countess that is Fay Fife, the Rezillos and Revillos trailblazer, and the only person in the history of the universe to sing Top of the Pops on, yes, Top of the Pops is playing at the Voodoo Rooms from August the 12th to the 17th. So we caught up there for a coffee to chat all about it. She'll be raising the roof with her swaggering country insurgents, the Countess of Fife, playing songs from the glorious album Star of the Sea and the equally fab Betwixt and Between EP, and who knows, maybe even a few teasers from the forthcoming album. Before I whisk you there though, just a reminder that you can catch me in conversation with another Dunfermline legend, Barbara Dixon. She's going to be chatting and playing songs. We're at the Stand in Edinburgh on August the 20th, 2 p.m. We'd love you to join us. And speaking of musical icons, I'm also in conversation with the one and only Horse. That's at the Stand on August the 24th. Same thing, chatting a few live songs to celebrate 35 years of The Same Sky, Horse's debut. Come to both of those events. Don't let Horse and Barbara down. You can get tickets and lots more information via akickupthearts.org, and we would love to see you there. For now though, to Edinburgh's Voodoo Rooms for a cup of tea and a blether about all sorts with Fay Fife.
Do you remember the first time you played a gig in Edinburgh before we talk about these fringe days?
Yes, that's gone back to November the 5th in 1976 with the Rezillos, and it was at TV at Roe University, Edinburgh University thing. At that time, universities used to do tons of gigs, you know, and so it was that. Yeah, I do remember. I also remember when I got on stage. When we got on stage, I thought, wow, I think this is a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You knew?
Something, yeah.
What was it? Just the reaction or how you felt about it as well?
Both.
Right,
Both.
okay.
Yeah. It just seemed to, but the Rezillos just seemed to arrive on stage sort of as a ready-made object, whereas we've just been rehearsing, it hadn't been like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Suddenly it was real. How long had you been a band at that point? When, in fact, did you come into the idea or the concept maybe of the Rezillos? When did they come into your imagination?
Well, to be fair, they came into Eugene Reynolds' imagination before me, but they didn't exist. And he said to me, what's your favourite bands? And I went, Roxy Music and David Bowie and Tamla Motown and Stax and all that. And he goes, well, my favourite band is the Rezillos. And they didn't exist. So that just started that, yeah. But anyway.
This is brilliant. What did you say? Had you heard it? You were like,
I said, they're absolutely crap.
oh, brilliant. Because some people would, oh yeah, I've heard of them.
No, I said they were crap. I was determined to like the coolest music in the room.
Yeah. So that was the start of it. And then did you want to be a part of them? Like, did you audition? How did you actually come to be involved?
I didn't audition. I just sort of turned up and did a bit of singing. So it wasn't actually an audition, but I sang Sweet Jane and Leader of the Pack, which is actually really interesting because it encapsulated the style of a lot of the music I've done.
I think that's wonderful because even now you can hear those same, here's the legend Borag with a wee coffee. Yes. We're just filming and it's all just happening around us. No, don't worry.
Yes. A legendary waitress.
Among your myriad talents.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you
so much, Borag.
We're sharing a night. Dear, yeah. Got a scoot. I'll catch up with you later. Did you get that as well? Yeah.
I'll see you down the mosh pit.
See you later.
For your fringe shows. And even the idea of the Velvets is interesting, and the sort of Shangri-La's girl group element is interesting because although obviously, especially looking back, and there was lots happening and a lot of it was maybe punk and post-punk, there was such a love of girl groups. And even now, I think there was a lovely Scotsman review about the Countess of Fife who kind of made reference to the fact you were almost like a sort of Celtic Ronnie Spector.
I read that, yeah. I thought, I'll take that compliment. I like that compliment. I like that compliment a lot.
It's a wonderful compliment, but also the Celtic part of it is important because you never wanted to sound transatlantic. You never wanted to sound American.
No. Always, I guess the Rezillos and me, because I was the Scottish one, were the first, I was determined to sing in my own accent and things like that. And that was right. It never occurred to me to do anything else. But mind you, over the years, it's kind of worn down like a rock that's been in the sea. You know, it's sort of blended out of it. But I wouldn't like to have somebody else's voice.
Yeah. But at the time, that was probably quite radical.
It was
actually.
It was right. It was rather, yeah.
Let alone to go on Top of the Pops and sing in a Scottish accent.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe it comes up, not knowing anything about it. Yeah. You just get up and do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Who else was on? Do you remember on that fateful Top of the Pops?
On Top of the Pops, well, Chic. Well, several Tops of the Pops, but Chic was on one time. That was very, very memorable, and also Boney M. I was very impressed by Boney M and Chic, and that guy in Boney M said, "You guys look really cool."
Really?
That's a compliment as well.
I always thought the Elton John endorsement was pretty good, but I think Boney M's better.
I think Boney M's, yeah, great.
If that's true, the story that Elton got involved with the Sire deal.
I have heard a rumour of that, but I can't actually say that's right or wrong because it's just a rumour as far as that. I don't know anything about it, but he did used to come to see the Rezillos.
Yeah, and also it's pop mythology. It doesn't directly matter, does it?
He used to come and stand backstage and watch us.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful that we're in Edinburgh, obviously, and not that far from many venues you'll have played over the years about the Rezillos, but a very much a growing and going concern as well. You were in the Rabbit Hole? You're playing?
Yes, I mean, bizarrely, for the first time, the Countess of Fife played on Friday at Back in the Rabbit Hole, and the Rezillos played on Saturday at Back in the Rabbit Hole. That was an unusual experience, but I'm okay at bouncing around and doing that.
Yeah, but you have got these shows. So we're in the very venue where you're going to be doing all your Fringe shows. We're in the Voodoo Rooms, the Countess of Fife. So, I mean, we've spoken before several times about the wonderful album, and of course there was an EP which is sort of bridging between what came before and the new record. Yeah. But when did the Countess first come into your imagination?
Oh, it's gone back to 2017, but it was just an idea. It was just an idea, and I just started plinking around doing some songwriting with friends, and it probably started to do shows maybe not that long before the pandemic. And did a lot of refugee benefits. So, there was no pay involved, there's no money involved, and it's a great thing to do, but it was also give you a chance to try out the songs.
That's true.
Did a lot of those at the Leith Depot. So it's gone back a wee while, but it only really became a sort of real much more professional setup round about just after doing the album, halfway through doing the album actually, and then of course the pandemic came and not much could happen. But you're talking about just before the pandemic, it started getting going as a thing, and then went into a wee bit of a deep freeze.
What I really love is that it's so clearly your voice and it's so clearly your energy, but the Countess of Fife very much has its own aesthetic, if you like, a real different vibe, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think with the Countess, I really wanted to focus much more on the music. I mean, the Rezillos are music, but they're very, very visual. And the Countess looks a certain way as well, but I just want to focus really on the music. And, as a songwriter, I have a lot of songs, and there's lots of stuff that would not fit into the Rezillos stuff. So, and I wanted to do something different. I mean, over the years, I have been doing things that are different, other things, but the Countess of Fife has been more of a serious commitment.
Did that allow you then to articulate the sort of songs that you had in your head, or even some of the subjects? Because even on this EP, you kind of dig deep on landscape and the treatment of women and the perception of women a lot as well.
Yes. It gives, lyrically, it just opens the whole thing up about what you can do. I mean, in the Rezillos, it's more just, it's more abstract and abstract stuff. But in the Countess, it's a whole different thing. I mean, one thing that I've taken from alternative country is that you need to be rooted in a true emotional core to do it. And I think the Countess of Fife is coming from that. I mean, I'll never do anything just because it sounds good or anything like that. So never say never, but I don't know. What I'm saying is with the lyrics, it's got to be rooted.
Yeah, totally. But you can still be radical with it. And I do love that it is still embedded in Fife, as you always were and your name always was.
Yeah. Well, you can take the girl out of Fife, but you can't take the Fife out of the girl. No, I know. It is a play on that. And I guess it's like, you know, I did leave a long time ago, but then you're always looking back, aren't you? You're always looking back. You're always looking across the Forth. I can see it every day. You know what I mean? It's just
it's not so far away, yeah.
It's not so far away.
What were you when you were in Fife? You know, as a kid, or did you get to see gigs there? What was that sort of experience, or even just listening to music?
Well, my mother was a great music lover, and it was just continual music, and she loved lots of different types of music, including pop music. And so I was buying records from about 5.
Really?
Yeah. So that was really great. My mum was buying records before that. That was a great musical education. It was like pop and classical and jazz and big bands and country and everything all mashed in. But then I had quite a sort of privileged start in a way, although it didn't seem it at the time. But I used to work in the kind of my ballroom, and I cleaned tables. Oh my God. They were filthy, those tables. You have no idea how filthy they were. They were minging. But,
and that was after you'd cleaned them.
That was after they. Well, actually, yeah, I can't claim my cleaning is much to write home about. But anyway, I just saw loads of bands playing.
Really?
Yeah, loads, because all the bands played there. Right. The kind of my ballroom, and I was there early, so I saw everybody doing sound checks and things like that, and that was a real education. I'll tell you that, real education without even trying. It was all going in subliminally.
Yeah, you're not actively seeking out the bands, but they're coming to you in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, I can even remember very clearly. The Alex Harvey band were sound checking, and I didn't know anything about them. And but they were sound checking it, and it just suddenly occurred to me, wow, there's a guitar, a bass, and a drums, and they're all doing different things, and that's what makes up the music. So it was doing something.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, quite. Who else do you remember seeing
then? Andy Fairweather Low.
Amen Corner?
Yeah,
right, okay.
He was amazing.
Really? And,
yeah.
I mean, the kind of touring circuit's fascinating, isn't it? The bands who would go to times out with Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Yeah, early Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay.
They were, you know,
T-Rex.
The two of them. I didn't really pick up so much on them actually, because I thought, oh, they're just the two of them, and he's playing bongos. I'm not going to listen to that.
Well, it was a fairly different thing. Ditch the bongos, boys.
Ditch the bongos, boys. Yeah.
Words for life.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I think the Alex Harvey band had the most impact in terms of just stage presence.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what's fascinating about him and about them as a band and as a collective. And certainly I would say with the Rezillos, the Revillos, and the Countess of Fife, it's like everyone's got a very clear identity. Obviously with the Rezillos, they even had all the kind of pseudonyms, right? It's like, it's that sort of slight gang mentality.
It is actually, yeah. I think being in a band is like being in a gang, actually. Yeah. Or quite a dysfunctional family, maybe. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you saw these bands, you're still cleaning the tables, which were immaculate, I've no doubt, by the time you'd finished with them. And then did you have aspirations or even ideas at that point? Was music a thing?
No, here's a weird thing, Nicola. When I was growing up, I used to sing all the time. I came from a musical family. My mother was very musical. We sang all the time. We danced around. We did the tango in the living room and things like this. I just sang.
Glamorous.
Glamorous and firmly. We all sang at parties. My mum was a great dancer. And I used to sing along with things. So when I went to art college, and so when somebody said they were starting a band, it didn't seem like I was doing something different.
Right.
Okay. It just seemed that's what I do as a natural continuation. And so when I got up and I started singing Sweet Jane with the Rezillos, I just was like, and leader of the pack. That was just what I did. I just didn't seem like a jump.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird. So I fell into it very, very naturally. It was unremarkable, actually. It just was a thing that...
It's incredible. Also, there weren't these same... I don't think there really are now anyway, but the lines between art and music and, you know, politics and imagination all seemed quite blurred. So, you know, in a way, there were more artists, if you like, forming bands than there were, quote-unquote, musicians starting out, right?
Yeah.
It was about the discussions. And certainly Rezillos, you know, the ideas, the visual element, the concept.
Yeah. But, you know, still to this day... You know, many of us that are doing music are also artists, you know, and, you know, Brian McPhee that plays the guitar and Countess of Fife is a fantastic painter.
He's a brilliant. I love his
painter.
work.
Yeah. And I paint in my spare time as well, you know.
Really.
But I also paint. But it's actually more common than people might imagine.
Well, you know, even the line you've just made, Brian McPhee, painter, and he played in The Big Dish with Stephen Lindsay, also a really well-respected painter.
Yes,
as well,
indeed,
you know.
indeed. Yeah. I suppose he played with Marianne Faithfull as well. Maybe an artist of a different sort, maybe.
Yeah, quite.
Yes,
Renaissance woman.
Renaissance woman, yeah.
But yes, it's lovely that you have got this band with Kirsten Adamson again. So you've got all these sort of Fife roots and musical roots run so deep, don't they?
Aye. So it is. You know, I think as I've got older, I'm sort of really struck by this thing, that how strong the Fife thing is. Even if, you know, when I was younger, I was running away from it as fast as I could go. Get me away from this! Get me away from this! And but yeah, it is, you know, and I've also come to really appreciate the fact that Fife has a great musical heritage, and it's just chucked out so many musicians.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, quite. But it's that lovely thing where you can celebrate. You're very much looking forward, but it's rooted in that.
Yeah, Richard, that. Yeah, I used to be in denial about my roots. So I've progressed, you know.
The mature women.
But
hopefully you're going to be tearing up the Voodoo Rooms. So you've got these gigs coming up. Are they going to all be a little bit different? Because I saw you posting on social media. Everyone's going to be different.
Did someone say that?
Yeah, they did. I hate to say it.
Who said that? Well,
and I was like, brilliant. I'll be at every one of them. Run for your own back.
Right, yeah. Well, the first 3 are stripped down, and they're going to be much more intimate. It's just me and Brian, but it's not like that's less of a show. It's just a different thing. It's very sort of quiet and intimate, and I've got time to talk a bit more. So I might come out with utter rubbish, like, you know, the philosophy of something that makes no sense. I don't know.
Schooled by Fay Fife.
Yeah. Come to the classroom. So I might do that. That's going to be the first 3. I know the last 3 are going to be Wama Lama, because it's the whole band, and we make, you know, we're not a rock and roll band, but we do make a sumptuous and substantial noise, you know.
Yeah, no, the energy on stage is absolutely, and I think that's what's lovely about. You can maybe tell us about the EP, which I think is going to feed into this forthcoming album as well. I love that we get the different elements and the different interpretations of these and the lives of these songs.
Yeah, that's right. The EP will feed in, but then. You know, we're doing a lot of songs from the upcoming album that are not on the EP. You know, they're newer than that. 2 of those were debuted. Yeah, that's right. Back down the rabbit hole. So there's those as well. I mean, it's an hour-long slot. We have a lot of songs now. We can't do everything. I think I might even write on the last night throw in one Rezillos song.
Oh, there you go.
That's only on the last night.
Well, typically, in typical punk style, as we've done this.
Well, in country style, darling. Alternative country style.
Yeah, but in punk style, we're getting chucked out of this venue.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I haven't even finished my drink.
You've not even done one gig and you've been banned.
No.
So listen, we'll chat much more about the new album once it's ready for a little bit of listening. You're still writing, and the Countess of Fife. I'm going to mention in the outro, which I'll record later, all your other dates. There are loads, but for now, let's come to the party all of next week, right?
Right, yeah, come next week. Come on, it's going to be great. It's the place to be.
There's a glitter ball. Know who would approve? Boney M.
They blooming well would. Cool.
Boney M might come. Who can say yes or no? I saw them at Down the Rabbit Hole a few years back.
Did
indeed.
Oh my God.
Banging. Yep.
God.
I thought I heard the Rezillos influence in there, but anyway. Okay, we better go because we're literally getting chucked out.
Okay, goodbye everybody. See you at the Fringe shows. Be there or be square.
Get schooled by Fay Fife. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks again to wonderful Fay Fife, to Morag, to the Voodoo Rooms, and to you for listening. You can catch the Countess of Fife there at the Voodoo Rooms from August the 12th to the 17th, and I cannot wait to chat more about our new album nearer the time. You can, and you must, come and join Barbara Dixon and Horse and my other In Conversation guests at the stand next week. Justin Curry, Grant Stott, Gavin Mitchell, Gordon Buchanan. You can get tickets and lots more information on all of that and the dates at kickupthearts.org. Thanks as always for listening, sharing, all of that. Hope to see you soon.